Hey guys, what's up? James Rath here. So today I'm going to be doing a tutorial, sort of different if you're kind of new to my channel. I used to do some tutorials back in the day, but I was requested to update my iMovie tutorial, and I'm actually going to be doing some filmmaking tutorials later on in the next coming weeks, so I figured may as well start with this since it was requested. But I did an iMovie color correction and color grading tutorial back in 2013. This is basically an update because Apple likes to update the look and design and some features in iMovie every few years. So I figured may as well. And for those who are kind of new to iMovie, well, consider this, a way you can kind of help improve your videos or retouch your video. The footage that you see here is shot on a Blackmagic Cinema Camera. I'm more than sure you're not going to be using that sort of camera if you're going to be editing an iMovie. So, but it just gave me a good flat image to sort of work with, and just sort of get you familiar with the layout and how to just kind of get started. So, we have a clip here. This is from a video I did back in the summer, but I basically just took some of the raw footage, and it's one long raw clip, but I just chopped it up into 3 different clips in our timeline here. And the reason why I did that, I'll get to that in a moment, but we're going to be starting on this clip right here. This is the one we're starting with. And so this was shot in California. It's a summer day, so more than likely you're going to kind of want to go with more of a hotter temperature kind of look for this. We'll also play around with like a colder temperature, but so to get started here, you do have, this is going to be your like toolbar here to make adjustments to your image and your audio, and even go sort of beyond that. They do have filters. These are preset filters here. I'm usually not going to recommend these until you've actually touched up your image a little bit. These are alright, and I mean, good for home videos and anything like that, if you need something real quick, but usually these aren't going to do the trick. So that's why we're going to try to avoid using these and manually touch up our image here. So you're going to click right here on the color correction tab, and you're greeted with this sort of toolbar. This is very Apple-ish, the way they have this set up, and it's a lot more dumbed down than Final Cuts, so it's not too overwhelming. But you do have a reset button here if you feel like you messed up or you want to just completely redo it. But before we actually touch on this, I did want to show you the color balance tools here. This is going to be more for color correcting, actually. So if you felt like your white balance was off when you shot, or anything along those lines, you can sort of help correct that here. I don't know how well, like, you don't want to fix in post. That's never really what you want to do. But if you have to, try to do it enough where it doesn't kill the image, but at the same time, fixes what you messed up during the actual production or what you were shooting. And this can go if you're just making a vlog, if you're making a cooking video, a short film, anything really. So right here, Apple has a nice little enhance tool that you can just click on that, and iMovie will do its thing and try to make it look better, which it does. It does look better, but it doesn't look good enough in my opinion. So it's a nice way to sort of make the colors pop a little bit better, define the shadows, and but again, we were shooting on a Blackmagic Cinema Camera, which has a huge dynamic range, and it creates a much flatter image than most cameras. So, and the flatter the image, honestly, in production, the more I think you have to work with in post, which is kind of nice for creating a color grade that you like. So we're gonna undo the enhance though, because we're gonna touch on this ourselves. So if I'm zoomed in, that's only for me more so. It should kind of help sort of with the region that we're working in, but yeah. So over here we have the highlights. Here you have the midtones, or more so coming around here, these are the midtones, and of the image. This is also going to affect the brightness. And then here we have the contrast and the shadows. Sorry, I'm so used to Final Cut, so if I'm messing up any lingo off the bat, that's why. So we have the color bar here, which will allow us to make our colors pop a lot more. This is going to give it a lot more of a cartoony look. The more color you use, I guess. You can also go black and white. So I do recommend increasing the color, but that's not all you want to do. Otherwise, it just kind of looks unnatural, and things like the yellows and the whites will kind of get all meshy. Same with the blues. So we're going to bring this just to solid, a little bit to the right here. Temperature wise, you can make it cooler if you want more of a winter image, or if you have more of a whiter image, or if you're, it's a hot summer day. I wouldn't go too far though in the hot area, because then it just looks super unnatural, and I guess it really depends how you're shooting it, but I would usually stick to around here at the most. For cool images, again, sort of the same idea, where don't go too far. It will just look bad. Unless that's the image you want, then by all means go for it. Don't let me dictate how your film is going to look. But this is just my recommendation. I'm actually going to bring this down a little bit. Getting a little too much there. And so we're going to touch on the highlights real quick. We're going to kind of brighten this up a little bit. And as for, double check, is this the midtones? Contrast, this is the contrast between the light and dark parts. Okay. Yeah, if you just want a quick description of what each of these little buttons or tabs gonna do, you just hover your mouse over and it'll give you a quick little description there. So moving this more to the left, it's gonna look so flat and washed out. So we're gonna move this contrast bar a little bit more to the right. This way our darker colors can kind of pop a little bit, creates more dimension that way. And yeah, if you move this too far, the brightness, you're gonna look like you're trying to create some sort of heavenly scene, like an angel or something. I'm not gonna do that because it just looks bad. But brightness can you can usually leave this alone unless you shot in low light. But again, just be wary of noise, camera noise, which I mean is like that grainy, constant red, blue, and green, staticky kind of image that you get. So you always want to shoot in a well-lit area. And again, that's just the idea. Don't fix in post. Kind of do the most you can in production to create the good image. But I'm going to keep this maybe around here. Didn't really move that too much. So contrast-wise, again, this is going to be flat if you move this one to the right. So this is going to be more for defining the shadows. Bring this down a little bit. And for this one, now you don't want this to be too dark. I mean, unless you do want it to be too dark. So moving the shadows to the left is going to create that sort of darker image. If you want something that's more night or more dramatic, I guess that would be. It reminds me sort of Twilight-ish. So if that's what you're going for, then go for it. But this is just a subtle scene, so we're gonna keep the shadows defined, but so we'll bring it down just a little bit, and maybe even bring the contrast of the shadows a little bit more. I kind of like that. That looks good. Now that we've sort of defined all the contrast and the shadows and the highlights, we're going to just retouch up on the color. Again, this is too much color right here. It just doesn't look good. So, and again, unless you want something washed out, This would be maybe for like a flashback scene, or an old time sort of scene. And that's if you want to go full black and white. Keep in mind, if you do want to go black and white, reset your temperature, because otherwise temperature is affecting the black and white. If you want more of an orangey yellow black and white, or a bluish cold black and white, it's going to affect the color there. So in terms of color, I do want this though to be around here, no more though, and a little higher temperature. So this is the image that we got now, and I'll just to compare that to this flat image right here. Huge difference, big improvement. It just looks so much better and more appealing to look at. Now it really depends on how you want your image to be told, like how you want your story to be told. So I'm going to teach you one more trick real quick, which is going to be kind of cool. So if you do Command C on your keyboard, or you can also right click on the image that you just corrected, and you go down to copy. Missed it, there you go. Command C. And then let's just say you want these two clips to also have the exact same correction. Now you don't want to do this for every scene or every shot, depending on how each shot's lit. But for similar shots that have like the same sort of lighting, this is pretty nice. Just highlight both of these, or you can Command click to get two of them highlighted at once. Go up to the top here, File, or no, Edit, and then let me find it real quick, because it is called Paste Adjustments. Here we go. And then you can actually choose which ones you want. If you want the speed, the audio effects, the video effects, the volume, crop, just say all for right now. And there you go. So now all these color corrections that we made on the first clip have basically transitioned over to these clips as well. And so, yeah. And that is basically a quick little basic iMovie color correcting tutorial. iMovie is pretty limited, but it does give you a lot of options. So it's a great entry-level editor. And then next week, we're also going to be tackling Final Cut Pro X. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, I'll be showing you some color correcting in that for the first time. And with that, thank you guys for checking out the video. If you like this or have any suggestions down below, leave a comment, and I hope this just kind of helps improve the quality of your vlogs. Yeah, and definitely that edit paste adjustments can really help with like vlogs and stuff, where if you have doing jump cuts, like have one raw clip and then you're cutting out what you don't, the ums and the likes and any pauses or anything that's just irrelevant to the actual video. And then if you're stuck with all these clips in your timeline, you just quickly select all of them after making one adjustment to one clip. Make sure you have that one clip copied, and then paste the adjustments to all the clips. And yeah, so again, thank you guys for checking out the video. If you like this, subscribe and check out other videos. I do short films, videos on mental health, technology, and the next few weeks though I'm going to be doing some tutorials on shooting on mobile devices, and just some sort of camera tips and tricks and color correcting on Final Cut. Thank you guys. Bye. Note to self. Go to bed. You need to fix your sleep schedule. God, I'm sounding like my parents. But they're not wrong.